Information has come out of a new book about John Kelly, who was Trump's chief of staff for a period of time. And the little nugget I want to talk about today, this is being reported from NBC News about this book, and we'll look at this in a second here, is the fact that apparently, according to this reporting about John Kelly's time as chief of staff, John Kelly, for an extended period of time, had to check in with Trump and talk him down from wanting to attack North Korea, nuke North Korea. Now, that would have been devastating, but Trump wanted to preemptively nuke North Korea. At least that's what's being alleged in this reporting. NBC News has this story. Behind closed doors in 2017, President Donald Trump discussed the idea of using a nuclear weapon against North Korea and suggested he could blame a U.S. strike against the communist regime on another country, according to a new section of a book that details key events of his administration. Trump's alleged comments, reported for the first time in a new afterword to a book by New York Times Washington correspondent Michael Schmidt, came as tensions between the U.S. and North Korea's Kim Jong-un escalated, alarming then White House Chief of Staff John Kelly. The new section of Donald Trump versus the United States, obtained by NBC News ahead of its publication in paperback Tuesday, offers an extensive examination of Kelly's life and tenure as Trump's chief of staff. And we'll go further, but just to kind of respond to that beginning part, Trump wanted to nuke North Korea and then blame a different country and say it wasn't the U.S. That is such an immature way, not to mention reckless and possibly world devastating, but immature way to look at a military operation like that, a nuclear war. Because of course, if he had done that, we could have launched ourselves into a worldwide nuclear catastrophe. It could have been devastating, but he was just kind of toying with the idea. And again, John Kelly had to talk him down. 8 days after Kelly arrived at the White House as chief of staff, Trump warned that North Korea would be met with fire and fury and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before. When Trump delivered his first speech to the UN General Assembly in September 2017, he threatened to totally destroy North Korea if Kim, whom he referred to as Rocket Man, continued his military threats. And we can say North Korea and the North Korean government, I should say, is an awful, awful regime. And I wish Kim Jong-un wasn't able to lead his country in the way that he does. But the solution to that problem is not nuke the country, devastate civilians, and possibly devastate the entire world. A little bit more here. What scared Kelly even more than the tweets was the fact that behind closed doors in the Oval Office, Trump continued to talk as if he wanted to go to war. He cavalierly discussed the idea of using a nuclear weapon against North Korea, saying that if he took such an action, the administration could blame someone else for it to absolve itself of responsibility. Again, that's not how that works. And then the article goes on to describe how Kelly would explain, we can't do that, sir, that would be horrible, sir, and please, I beg you, let's take a different route. And then outlines here the tweet he sent out in January of 2018, essentially saying he had a bigger, stronger nuclear button than Kim Jong-un. So all of this part of the book, and likely the entire book, just shows you the low level of critical thinking that was going on in Trump in these important decision-making settings behind the scenes. And a little part of me is actually surprised that more horrible things didn't happen based on what was going on privately. Now, bad things did, for sure, we know that. But things like this just could have been unbelievably disastrous. And it was just someone begging Trump, no, that's a bad idea, that prevented a true catastrophe. Let me know what you think. Luke P. Beasley on Twitter.